So, have you guys ever had the experience of conversing with someone, and let's say that they're trying to give you feedback on something that you may not be aware of? In my case, the way this happened was that I was advertising something that I wanted to sell, and I described it in a certain way, but this girl, woman, lady, female, woman was letting me know that I was incorrectly describing the object that I have in possession, that I am trying to sell, and trying to say that I am advertising this as pink, and that the color that she sees is cream. So therefore, I am wrong and she is right. And she is confused why that photo, which very clearly depicts it as pink on her end, she doesn't see it as pink. And she's trying to tell me that she has asked around other people, and she has tried across multiple devices that she probably doesn't even own. But anyway, and that she still perceives it in that color. Something like that. So I keep telling her, I'm sorry, but my item that I have in possession and I can confirm to you that is pink is indeed pink, and no amount of you telling me that is cream is going to change that. So anyway, the point is that because I was like pretty much flaming her, very gently, but aggressive here and there. She was like, I'm just trying to be kind. And it often happens online as well, like if you go to a forum or if you go to the wonderful land of Twitter. I cannot get enough Twitter because it's so entertaining. But and I have had the occasional buffoon as well who comes over to my comment section and says something like, all I'm telling you is for your well-being, and I'm just trying to be nice to you, and nobody ever has an ill intent, right? Well, this is officially the topic to discuss people like that. The people who say, I'm just trying to be nice, but their way of trying to be nice is actually full of, like, I guess, fallacies, because you throw that phrase around when I guess you don't get the reaction from me that you expect. Like with this lady, I said, well, thank you so much for offering your feedback, but I can assure you that this pink item is indeed pink. But I guess because I did not give in to her wrong statement, her wrong assurance, affirmation, whatever, then she's like, I'm just trying to be kind. And she was also trying to say that I need to like improve the quality of the images I take. And I'm like, lady, you're the only one giving problems. This is a you problem, you issue, not me. Because trust me, I have sold a good number of things, and you're the only person who has given me problems. And recently, I had another person who did not read the description that I supplied talking about in person. The shade of this item is actually a little paler, a little faded, not as bold compared to what the pictures depict, because there are certain colors, especially olive green, that they're just really difficult to capture. So you just have to trust me and guide yourself by what I am telling you. In addition to, when you're in doubt, just don't fucking buy something, okay? It's your responsibility at that moment. But when you try to argue with me And on top of that, you start going like, oh, I'm just trying to be kind because you did not get the reaction from me that you expect. And you're trying to tell me that I'm getting offended, that you're telling me that I'm wrong, even though I'm the fucking owner of this item. No, I'm not going to be like giving in to you. You're wrong. What you're seeing as cream is pink. And I'm sorry to break it to you. You want to see it as cream, but it's not. So stop arguing with me. And I just wonder what it is that makes people like her be like that. They think that by saying, I'm just trying to be kind, what are you hoping to like achieve by saying that? You're trying to calm me down, even though I'm actually pretty calm, pretty chill, but you want to slap the label on me of, you got offended because I told you that you're wrong. Even though, remember, I own this item, I am describing it. I hold it, I sniff it, I breathe it, I wear it, I see it, everything in my presence. And here you have this person who has never seen this before, never encountered it for herself, isn't witnessing it, trying to like tell me that I am wrong. So that's what I started telling her. I started saying to her, look, I am the owner of this item. I actually have it here in my presence. And I can assure you that it is exactly this shade of pink. So leave it at that, okay? Thank you for your interest, but just leave it at that. But this fucking woman kept coming back at me and harassing me and bugging me and telling me, maybe you should invest in better lighting. Maybe you should take better pictures. Maybe you would have a better business if you gave in to the customer. The customer is always right. You never argue with the customer, all this bullshit. And I'm like, bitch, you're not a genuine customer. You're just here to bug me. Leave me alone. What are you hoping to achieve? You know, but I am rambling away because it happened to me. I am ranting about it and bitching about it because it happened to me. It's a story to tell, a story that it had never happened to me before. I had seen it happening to other people. But I said, oh, that's crazy that people who I know who sell things as well, they go through this. But for me to experience it in my own way, it's like, wait, no, this is real. People like this exist and they go out of their way to tell you shit. And I just want to create this topic, put it out there, let you guys know that it happened to me. And if you guys have stories of your own, I guess let me know. But what I really would like to know is when you tell someone that I'm just trying to be kind because you fucked up and you didn't get the reaction from the person that you expected, which was probably you were expecting a more submissive, apologetic one, and you didn't get that. Why are you so weakly armed when it comes to your interactions with people that you have to resort to name calling the other person in a negative way, but you, about yourself, you say that you're trying to be kind while insulting the person that you claim you're trying to be nice to, even though you cannot physically see this person. You cannot physically see me to see that I am upset or offended or angry. At no point was I angry, upset, or offended by what this lady said. She just started saying that probably because she's done it to other people. I'm thinking, no, I am interacting with you. I'm letting you know that you are indeed wrong, and you want to look at it as I am angry, even though you cannot hear me, you cannot see me, and I am like the most chill person in the world. Even when you're like screaming and being a complete bitch at me, I am like the most cool, calm, and collected person unless you start throwing shit or like vandalizing my things or breaking my things or like coming very close to my face. Those are things that I do not tolerate. But if you're like an emotional human, like you're just a this ball of emotions and instability and anxiety and shit, I know how to dismiss you. Okay? Because I do not deserve to put up with you. I shouldn't have to. So maybe you're the same person who struggles with her own friendships, her own relationships. Nobody stands you. Nobody wants to be around you, even though you're just trying to be kind. So maybe your kindness actually drowns other people, chokes other people, sucks the life out of other people. So maybe your good intentions are actually not very well portrayed. And maybe when you stumble upon a person like me who doesn't give in and challenges you, that's when you, I guess, freak out. And your only weapon is like the block button or the trolling button, the insult button. Like you type out something mean and send it to the person. And I just wish to understand what it is that virtual communication does to people, to where that's what you turn into. Because a lot of other people's profiles and pages that I see that a lot. Like one fool is challenging the other person. Another thing I see is something like, let's say that you have an item from a really popular brand, but the popular brand has this item out of stock very often, like the PlayStation. We all know that everybody wants the stupid PS5, but for the longest time, I don't know the status on it, but for the longest time, it was out of stock. Well, the people who got their hands on it were trying to flip it and sell it for twice as much. I saw PlayStations being listed for over $1,000. Someone out there may consider paying it for the convenience of this item that I'm looking for is available. I'm not patient. I don't want to wait. I want it now, so I will pay double. If that's you, that is your problem. Understand the psychology of the business. That is your value. Go ahead, perform the transaction, and shut up. But some people will go through the trouble of leaving comments under that listing and saying, "Why so expensive? At Walmart, it's only, how much is it? $400? It's only $400. Why are you selling it for 600?" And you have to consider that if you sell by using a platform, they take a commission usually between 5, 10, 15, 20%, and the shipping costs as well, because this will probably weigh more than what your prepaid shipping label allows you to have. So you go through the trouble of assaulting this person, and you want to get this brand new item for like cheaper than if you were to buy it directly from like the company that produces it. So sometimes I see that happening to me as well. It's like, why is this expensive if this is used? And I'm thinking, bitch, it's a good brand. It's like new. It was not used. It doesn't have the stickers or the tags or the box that it originally came in on. But you just have to trust me that it is brand fucking new. So I'm not going to list it for severely cheap just because that's what you want. Someone out there may do it. I cannot say that you cannot get good bargains from buying from people online. Because I remember this one specific pair of leggings, brand absolutely new. It was significantly discounted. It was like discounted by 70, 75-ish% compared to if I went to buy it from the actual company. And I thought, wait, are you serious? Is this real? I purchased it, I received it, and I was like, it's true. These are in brand fucking new condition. They smell like when they come from the store, from the company who produces this. But this person wanted to let it go for like 75% off. She's taking a triple loss. The loss of her having to like pack it up, drive it to the post office, printing the shipping label, and the cost of the commission for selling it to me using a platform, and this thing is new. She got it new. Maybe it was a birthday gift, or maybe she bought it and changed her mind and she couldn't return it. Whatever her reasons, she's taking a loss, and I happened to score it. I happened to land it. Good for me. But just because this person did that and they established that precedent that it is possible for you to get a good deal at severely discounted rates on awesome brands, it doesn't mean that everybody else has to follow that. Like, the market is pretty flexible for that type of thing. Some people will pay 3 times more than what the item originally costs, even if it's not brand new. Some people know their values and they go like, you know what? Realistically, this is a used item. I'm only saving $5 from what I'm spending here. How about if I just buy it from the website when it comes back in stock? Whatever, but for you to harass the people who go online to like sell their stuff, and you're trying to expect them to like bend over for you, it's like, fuck you. You got problems, severe problems. But at the end of the day, you'll leave a little note saying, I'm just trying to be nice, because you're trying to like look after me, trying to tell me that I would sell things faster if I follow your lead at this, and you're not even someone who sells things yourself. So all I have to say is, it's only the women who have done this to me. Oh, but how is it that saying that women do this is the most relevant point? I don't know. Maybe it's because my market caters mostly to them. I'm a girl, so like I sell feminine shit. And maybe that's why I have more of those kinds of customers. But I sell to the guys too, because I have things from when I was a teen that come from like the men department. So my tomboy days being over, I have to get rid of that stuff now. But I also would like to get like a small fraction of what I originally paid for it back. So yeah, the guys don't do that to me. They just don't. And I have hundreds of things that cater to them. And they don't be doing that, okay? They're just like, hey, the question I get the most is, when do you think you'll be able to mail this? Or when do you think I'll receive this? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I mail things immediately. So you can expect for it to be there in 2 days, unless you buy it on a fucking Friday, and then you have to wait more like 3 to 4 days because we have that weekend in between. And God forbid if you buy it in like a holiday weekend, so you have that extra day that you have to wait if that holiday is on a Monday. But yeah, you guys, I thought I would share that because I think it's absolutely insane, bizarre that there's people out there like this who exist. And if you guys have your own experiences, please share them with me. I want to hear them, because the more I expose myself to that type of thing, the more tolerance I build. So when she was trying to say that I got offended by her so-called feedback of my pictures looking bad, I'm thinking the only reason I could tolerate that is because I had seen that happen to other people. And friends of mine have also told me it has happened to them. So it sort of plants the seed somewhere in my brain that this could happen. And then when it happens to me, I'm not shocked by it. I'm not surprised by it. But it's definitely something that I like to put on the wall of shame, I guess. And if you're someone who does this, just know that you don't have to say what your intentions are. Just be like, hey, I am observing this listing, and what I see conflicts with what your words are expressing. Would you please clarify? And that's when I go, sure, this particular color is an ass to picture, but in reality, this is the exact shade that you can expect. But Unfortunately, no amount of lighting, medium lighting, low lighting can make its true colors come out. My camera does not want to capture it for whatever reason. I tried to cast a shadow on it, everything. You need to trust me that I tried everything that I could because it bothers me too that I cannot advertise this exactly as it looks like. But shit happens. At that point, you have one of two courses of actions that you can take: purchase it upon knowing that information, or maybe request extra info if you feel like you're still not very sure, or don't purchase it and maybe ask a little bit more detail and maybe perhaps still settle for not purchasing. But you're doing your part as a responsible consumer. And just stop trying to blame others for you being bad at what you do, you know? But anyways, you guys, that's pretty much it from me. When it comes to this, I don't really have anything else to say, but just know that if you ever tell me I'm just trying to be nice, you will like trigger me into want to troll you. More than likely, you will be trolled for saying that, because I automatically assume that everybody ever who tries to communicate with me has good intentions. But you have control of the flow of that conversation just as much as I do. And I can promise you that I never have a single instance in my life, in my day, in which I pre plan to go out there and be a bitch to someone. So, more than likely, you will be the one to screw up the flow of this conversation. And the only time I have lost my cool, it was with my cell phone company, and it's because they promised me that they would call me pertaining an issue and they fucking didn't. So I said, hey, by the way, you did not call me. And prior to that, I was like, hey, this is the fourth time I reach out pertaining this issue. Nothing is being done. What the fuck can we do about it right now, right this second, right this instant? Because I'm tired of this shit. I want to say that is the first time that I express myself like that when addressing a company in like a professional setting ever. And if you don't see my frustration, if you don't hear my frustration, if I remain patient the whole time, I feel like by me letting my frustration come out like that, it's like I'm letting you know, hey, it's not you personally. I know that you as the rep are not trying to make me have these problems, but just know that whoever is responsible, I need you to take action because this is affecting my life. And on top of that, I am pending, like, I have to plan to pay for this bill. And I just want to know what the hell I'm paying for. You're not fulfilling your end of the deal, which is you promise me this service, but it's not working as intended and it has been going on for months. What are you doing about it? I don't see action. And when you tell me that you will follow up at our scheduled time, you don't. So at that point, I feel like I have a right to get mad because my schedule is shit and I have to plot this ahead. And if I tell you, if you give me the freedom to pick my time to schedule an appointment and I do, and you don't fulfill it, yes, I will be mad because the circumstances change outside of that time. So, with my cell phone company, at the time that I scheduled my appointment for them to call me, both phones were going to be present, mine and the other line that I pay for. But when they finally got back to me because I reached out to tell them, hey, your people never called me. Now I have a different factor, which is only one device is present when both devices have the issue. So, yes, I will get pissed off and let you know that I don't play games. I'm paying for this. So, what's going to happen? But outside of that, it's practically impossible for me to like be that person who loses their chill. And if I am the one who say I'm the one who's providing a service for you, definitely I never break. I've been there. I've been at customer service where the person gets all riled up and loses their mind and all that shit. And I just sit there like, I understand. I completely understand. I agree. I see where you're coming from. I apologize for your frustration. Da 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 da. I take care of you. Refund, replace, go home. But then when you start telling me that, okay, you're really upset, but now you're trying to tell me the story of your life about this is something that my daughter really likes and I get it for her every year, and then I don't care about the background. I just care about the fact that we did not fulfill you. Let's say that you bought some fucking fish and it was spoiled or something. Sure, we will own it. It's not supposed to go bad on you the same day that you buy it. There is clearly a quality issue. Thanks for letting us know. You get your refund, you get your replacement. Get out. I don't want to hear about how this was the main staple for your dinner or party or whatever the fuck, and you feel like telling me about it. I don't care. I never go anywhere when I have to do a return when I'm the customer. I never go somewhere and I'm like, I bought this, but it was broken and it's disappointing because I just, no. Filler info, unnecessary, useless ass filler info about my personal life. That's irrelevant. I can tell you, hey, at least this did not cause any injury. This and that. That is the important information. But don't talk about how this hurt your fucking feelings, because I don't care about them. They don't matter in the grand scheme of things. But unfortunately, our society of like customer service and capitalism, and you got to make the customer happy no matter what, unfortunately, I feel like that has changed the way people's brains are wired, to where if they cause a scene or make it an emotional thing, maybe they can get something better. Like you'll accommodate them more. Maybe you'll give them a doubled refund, or maybe you'll give them an extra gift card or something because their feelings were hurt. No, just no. I can't stand that, and that's why I keep trying to be as transparent about it as possible and tell you guys that I struggle with that. I don't have feelings. I struggle with having empathy for other people's feelings when it comes to that type of thing. The only things I have feelings for is like sorrow, like someone's pet died, someone's parent died, something extreme, something life changing like that. The naturally recurring things that may impact your emotional well being. But like stupid articles, like items, objects, meaningless things, I cannot. I cannot activate that in my brain to like give a shit. Oh, my cake arrived home with the frosting all over because it's 200 degrees outside, and this cake is like cold, so it arrived looking like a clusterfuck because I don't know, I got stuck in traffic and my little girl could not enjoy her cake. It's a fucking cake. I would never feel bad about a cake not making it to me, because if I think about it critically, cake is something that can be pretty bad for you. Sugar, stay away from the damn sugar. I know it's awesome. I'm addicted to it, but if that were to happen to me, and say my mom or my boyfriend get me a cake and it arrives looking all fucked up, I'm like, you know what? The flavor is still there, as long as it's not one of those cakes that like, if you don't maintain it at a proper temperature, the fruit in it perhaps may spoil and then it'll make me sick. It's like, okay, please do not feed me a cake that's borderline spoiled. That is a health hazard. But I'm not going to lose my shit just because my cake didn't make it. I guess I'm just too grown for that. Or maybe the parents want to be compensated. If you have a little kid, maybe you want to be compensated for the bad experience that you had at home for giving your kid this ugly looking cake or something. So you want to be double compensated. Compensated for the bad time that your little kid had and compensated for the bad time that you had dealing with that. But either way, I don't think it's a big deal. Maybe it's because I don't have kids, but I remember being a kid, and sure, I had my handful of times when I thought, "Oh, this is what I'm getting instead." Oh, well, that's a little bit of a letdown, but it also taught me to just be patient. Mom said she will get me something. It may not be when I want it, but it will come. I'm still here. I made it. I'm alive and well, you know? But these people act like their whole world is just falling apart because a little something went wrong. But I'm just trying to be kind. No, no, no. Hi, Zam. Hello. Troublemaker. Yes, indeed. I am a troublemaker. And you are amazing. Thank you for the stream. I try to be. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but there's this bird outside. I absolutely love it. It sounds like, when you watch movies and they have like the little the little beams, like laser pistols, they sound like pew pew pew. I love that freaking bird. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like it's going like pew 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 pew. Oh my god. One of these days, if I can, and I hear this little bird, I'm gonna go outside, I'm gonna walk around, and I'm gonna see if I can record it. You say you can hear it. Okay, awesome. Yeah, that is my freaking favorite bird ever. Every morning, I hear it. Everywhere I go in the evenings, I hear it too. And I cannot help but treat it like crows. They all go like, ah. And I just freaking love it. Something about this little bird. It just, intentions. I like that. But anyways, I'm just sick of it. Maybe I have been working with people for too long, and when that's not compatible with your personality, I guess for me it feels extra in my mind. But at least my, let's call it let's call it my brain metabolism can digest that very, very, very fast. But what I hate about it is that just because I dealt with it today doesn't mean that's the end of it. And maybe I'm one of those people who, once something happens, it happens once, I resolve it, and that's it. I let it go. Whereas in the past, I had tendencies of bringing up past experiences to justify what's happening in the present. And maybe that's the reason why my so called, I guess, prolonged periods of feeling down and miserable and sad and all that, without knowing, I was making it worse. But now that I learned to understand the value of things right there, immediately, right at the moment, when I see other people processing it differently, but it ruins the lives of others, even if it's for 5, 10 minutes, however long this crazy customer interaction lasts for, I think that is the problem. I don't want for that to continue. I don't want to be that person. But why is it that this person cannot value the things that I value, which is, hey, I know that disappointment will happen. I will not have perfect experiences with everything, but I am not going to go up to the human being who has no control over it and try to make them feel bad about it. And even if I knew the person directly responsible for, say, let's say that I buy an iPhone and for some reason it's broken, I'm not going to like go out of my way to find out who at the factory messed it up. I don't care because I know that we can find a solution for this. We can get it replaced, or I can try a different phone, anything, just anything. But there's people who really go out of their way to try to give the name of someone. But if it's something different, like say someone who is in customer service genuinely gave you shitty service and they treated you poorly, and say put your food wrong even though you clearly gave them instructions, but it looked like they didn't care, sure, report this person. That is unacceptable behavior. But like, when it comes to customer service and someone calls corporate on you, they're like, well, I have to tell you that this person was the rudest person ever. This hasn't happened to me yet, probably because I'm not like full time at the desk, but my colleagues tell me about it, like, hey, let me tell you about who called corporate on me. And I'm like, oh, what did you do? Whose feelings did you hurt? And then they go, it was this lady, and it was because she was trying to say that I was very rude to her, even though I gave her refund, her gift card, yada yada, everything. I'm thinking, these people have time to dial offices that are not even in this state to like talk about someone, and that's not going to be true, and that case is going to be dismissed. But what are you hoping to achieve? You just want to give anxiety to this worker because they have to go through the process and the protocol of, well, we need to discuss what happened. Even though you're right, even though you didn't do anything wrong and nothing's going to happen to you, we have to go through protocol. This country wastes so much fucking time on useless things. But if you think about it, the root of it tend to be people not having their emotions in check. And that's what I really like to explore here. Let's see. Garuda, he says, can you send me some nudes? Well, about your nudes, I have to say, data not found. Nudes, data not found. Noodles, noodles. You mean my hair noodles? Nah, my hair doesn't really look like noodles. But anyway, noodles, or maybe you're trying to say that you're requesting a video about noodles, which I never really eat noodles. That's weird. But it's interesting that you mentioned them because now it's getting my mind going about where would I go for noodles? Would I be that person who goes to like the grocery store just to buy um what's the name of that brand? Is it Maruchan? Uh Ramen noodles. People are obsessed with those. I see a lot of college kids who come to the line and they buy a lot of that, but I think it's because it may be a combination of they may not be very good cooks themselves, or because it's, college, they're trying to eat something that's very fast, no time, no effort required at all, and it just helps, I guess. But sometimes I think this person, every time they come through the line, this is what they buy. So could it really, really, really be that you don't have cooking skills? Or or do you just really have to sacrifice your diet in the name of spending an extra 30 minutes studying? And also, let's think about the dishes. It's just a pot and water, and you boil it, and it's done. Like, you throw the noodles in there and it's done. Whereas if you make, let's call it a full course meal, it's like, yeah, the time it takes to cook, plus you doctoring it up with condiments and everything, and then the cleanup afterward, plus, yeah, too much time, too much time. If you hear the bird next time, try to understand what it means. Most of the time, it is a cry for help. Now that you say that, I have always wanted to see or find out or check or speak to like someone who studies avians or anything and be like, hey, is there such thing as a bird cry, bird singing guide somewhere? But what's crazy is that this kind of, let's call it singing, tweeting, I have heard it before. I hear it every day at around the same time. But I also hear other kinds. But the problem is that that tone sounds the same. Like it seems like they can only produce sound at that pitch, whereas the human being, you have like a broader tone spectrum. We can tell what is the pitch, what is that tone of sadness, frustration, desperation, excitement, happiness, all that. But how do you study a bird's? It's like, is it based on the intermittence, like how quickly it goes, the tempo? But depending on the species of birds, they all sound the same. Like I've never heard a crow, even though it's a 100% different crow. I've never heard a crow that has like a lower pitch on a certain day than other days, or say a higher tone than other days. See what I mean? So maybe it's just me personally. My ear is just not trained for that, and I don't catch the difference in tones. But I swear, all I hear is a difference of intermittence. So they speak in like their own bird Morse code or something. But, but yeah, to me, now the birds went to like the other side. I hear them from behind me now. But the same bird that sounded like the laser guns that I described earlier, I can hear it, but from a distance now. But no way I would be able to tell when a bird is like crying for help. So, but I admit I have been curious. I have wondered, what is the language of birds, and really any animal for that matter. But I feel like birds are the most audible ones, definitely. Well, you guys, it's been a pleasure. Hopefully, I illustrated the point of this stream pretty well, rambling about when people say stuff like, "Oh, I'm just trying to be nice," because something about that little phrase triggers me. Maybe it's because the person was not expecting a reaction that challenges them, I guess, so that's why they have to resort to saying that. But there's just some discussions that I just don't want to deal with, and that's one of them. Just don't say that you're trying to be nice. Don't say that you're trying to be mean. Like, have you ever gone up to someone and been like, I'm gonna have a nasty tone and attitude towards you. I'm trying to be a bitch about it. But no, we always say, I'm not trying to be a bitch about it. I'm not trying to be mean about this. I'm not trying to be another common one. I'm not racist, but, or I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying all that. So this is kind of an inverse of that. I'm trying to be kind. I'm trying to be nice, as sweet as I can. Just say what you want to say with fucking confidence, and let me interpret your intention. And if I'm wrong, that's when you let me know. But you want to, I feel like that's your prologue. You want to say that ahead so that no matter what happens during this discussion, you can be the victim, because you're just trying to be kind. But while trying to be kind, you don't want to be responsible for the dumb shit that you can potentially say and that I will, let's say, challenge you for. So just anytime you speak, anytime you go somewhere, anytime you drive somewhere, go out with a plan. Your life, your world, your day just flows better when you have a plan. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for